Well, good morning everyone. I hope you are all well. And finally I've managed to get out and start doing another guide. So today I'm starting my first venue in Suffolk after finishing off Norfolk over Christmas. So I'll be covering on these guides everywhere from Corton in the furthest north of Suffolk right the way down to Felixstowe in the south, and I'm not going to be doing them in any sort of order. It's going to be mainly picked on weather and tides, i.e. the wind and the tides. So that's what I shall probably do. I've got about 15 plus venues to cover, and today I've decided to start in the Pakefield area, so that's where I'm heading now. It's about a 50-minute journey from where I live, and I'm about 10 minutes I suppose away from the car park. Now Pakefield's got about four or five access points with car parks. I think 3 of them are pay and display, and the little one I'm hoping to go to do today is free, but it's very small, so the parking there is limited. So if I get there and it's full, I may not be able to get parked up and fish there, and I'll have to move to one of the other car parks. So as you can see from the detail on the map there, these are the four main car parks in the area. Some of them will be well known. You've got CFAS, and you've also got the Jolly Sailors. They're both very popular marks. One I'm actually going to today is Cliftonville Road. It's a very small car park. I think there's about parking for about 8 or 10 cars there. Access straight onto the beach, and as I said before, it's free. So that's where I'm going to head to first of all. So we've got at the moment a fairly overcast morning, 10 degrees, and finally that wind's dropped. Any wind we've got today is going to be a light southwesterly. We've been battered over the last 2 weeks with northerly and northeasterly winds, and conditions have been quite unfishable really. And with the winds, it's also brought weed in abundance on most of the beaches as well. So fingers crossed we don't get any weed today. The wind's definitely dropped, and it's, as I say, swung round now to southwesterly. So on the mark I'm going to be fishing today, it should be coming over my right hand shoulder. It's supposed to brighten up later on into a quite bright and sunny day, so, and I'm looking at around about midday high tide today, so by the time I get to the venue and get set up, it's going to be around 10 a.m. so I'll have a couple of hours up and a couple of hours down, and we'll take it from there. I'll fill you in a little bit more when we get nearer the mark. Turn in here on the right, Cliftonville Road, and we should be able to head straight down to the bottom and find the little car park. It's very popular with dog walkers, this car park, so it does get a little bit busy sometimes, but we'll give it a first look here, and if we can get parked up, that's what I intend to give this mark a fish. So down into this little gravel part here, a little bit bumpy, little unmade track, as most of these are. And yeah, we're just about going to get in there, which is handy. What I'll do is I'm going to work that in here. As you can see from this tiny little car park, which is not, I should imagine it takes about 6 or 8 cars at the most. It's just a little simple access down here. A few little steps and straight down onto the beach. Once you're on the beach, you're literally only a few yards from the sea. It's fairly calm today. Looks like there's a little bit of colour. And what I have noticed is a lot on this coast is the amount of shingle that's been moved and chopped away. So yeah, this is the boats. Distance there you can see the beach huts. That's another mark you can fish. I like this little mark. It's quieter than a lot of the others. And I should probably just move a little bit up there to the right and set up there. So let's go and get some gear on and get started. Okay, so I've walked down about, I don't know, 100 yards to the right of the entrance, which is just up there level with those boats. As you can see the sea wall here, the tide's obviously been right up here at some point, probably in that rough weather, and that's cut a lot of the beach away. I'll quickly set up a little camp, put my shelter up to keep out the wind. Got a little bit more beach up there, then it's so they've put some stones there to stop the erosion. That's the back of that holiday camp. So yeah, going to be a few dog walks about. We got nice still overcast conditions. Sun is behind there somewhere trying to break through. Just bend down to get a little bit of water, and the sea looks like a decent colour, so I'd be expecting to catch a few flatties definitely today. This time of the year you're very limited what you're going to catch. Potentially you're going to get whiting and flatfish. You might get the odd dogfish thrown in now and again, and you might even get the lucky ray, but not enough to really sort of sit here and target them, I don't think. I'm going to go with my normal 2 rods. One will be on a bigger hook, fish further out with a bigger bait, see if I can find something a bit bigger, and the other one will be a 2 or 3 hook scratching rig, in and out, small baits, see what else I can find. So that'll be the plan. I'll just get some rods put together now and then we'll get started. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to put one rig out with a pulley pennel on, and I'm going to load that up with two O hooks and a small worm and squid cocktail. I'm now just doing the first bait up using my little tool. I don't think I need to be fishing too heavy a gear here today. There is always a chance of a small codling here. They do turn up this time of year. Conditions have to be almost perfect really for that, but we'll give it a go. So all I'm doing with it is binding on. These are some oiled frozen blow lug which I had left over from a session. So what I do is take them home, put them on some fresh paper, put a little bit of pilchard oil on them, and then freeze them. And they seem to actually hold together a little bit better. If you freeze just normal blow lug, they go a bit watery and fall to bits. So this way I found it to be a little bit better. Next I'm just going to add a little strip of squid onto that, and that's going to go on there as well. So I hook that on the hook point, hang it over next to the bait, and we'll whip that on as well. So I'm using the bait loader tool which I made. It just gives you something to hold in your fingers. It makes it a little bit easier. So nice squid and lug cocktail there. 2 2/0 hooks on an 18-inch link, and that's going to go out on the pennel rig. Just chop that bit off the top there, it's loose. There you have it, ready to go. Nice little smooth off the ground cast. And that's gone out by probably 80 to 90 yards. Should be plenty in this tide today. So just as a contrast to that big pennel bait I put out, these are the 3 baits that are going out on the 3 hook flapper. They're size 4 hooks. I've got a little bit of black lug on one, a bit of blow lug and fish on the other, a little bit of squid and fish on the 3rd. So I'm going to flick that out a bit closer and see what we can scratch out. Okay, both rods are out now. The little flatty rig, 3 hook flapper, I've put about 25-30 yards out, right in the gutter here. And just as I was about to cast, I had an indication on the other rod. So I might have to get that in a minute and give that a check. But not only the rods are out, but now unfortunately for me, the sun's out. So that's going to make it a little bit patchy, I think, today. Bright sun. But I'll stick to the plan. I expect to catch on that scratching rig, but I don't expect to catch much on the big fish rig. No great surprise, the first fish is a whiting. Look at the bait it's taking. Well, that's an encouraging start to actually get a fish on the first cast, albeit it was an undersized whiting. But it gives me something to work at now. There's a few fish about. I expect that scratching rig to pick up a lot more fish. I've just done up some more blacks for that, and I've compressed them a little bit more, made them a little bit smaller, a little bit tougher. So that's the next thing. I'm going to give that a quick look on the right hand side, refresh those baits. I've already got the next big pennel bait rigged up, which is another squid and lug cocktail. And I just noticed in the background there's a commercial fishing boat, probably about, I don't know, 500-600 yards off the beach. I don't know if it's netting or what. I've heard of undersized whiting, but that's ridiculous. That's the best live bait you will ever get. Perfection in miniature. Put them in the bucket and rebait. Well, you hear of people complaining about catching small whiting, but that has probably got to be one of the smallest I've ever hooked. That is probably 10 centimetres long. Absolute perfection. And that would actually be brilliant if you could present it out there as a little live bait for a bass or even a big cod. So there you go. 2 fish and 2 casts, and I probably haven't made 27 centimetres yet, but there you go. Well, another undersized whiting. That's on the flapper rig and a little bit of black. Bad news is I've just got heavily snagged up with the pennel rig. I didn't manage to get it back, so So I'm now going to rig that back up. So this can be a little bit snaggy along here, as with all these Pakefield marks. They seem to come and go. They're there for 1 week and they're gone the next. So it's a little bit of pot luck. If I get snagged up again with that rod, what I might do is move maybe 100 yards that way or 100 yards that way, just in case it's a little bit of netting or rope or something out there. Well, I don't quite know what's happened to the weather this morning. It was supposed to be grey and overcast start, and the sun was going to come out and it was going to get up to about 10 or 11 degrees. Well, the sun started to come out about an hour ago and now it's disappeared completely, and we've got this very strange like sea mist, I suppose. With that I can physically feel the temperature's dropped quite a bit. I think it's like 10 degrees when I got here in the car. Just had to put like another layer on. But yeah, very strange. So I've re-rigged the left hand rod again, put a new leader on, and I didn't chuck it out as far this time. I've put it probably 70 yards, something like that, about twice the distance as the flapper rig. Same bait on there again, squid and black lug wrap on a pulley rig. Very next cast, there's the culprit, another little undersized whiting. Sea must be full of them today. I don't think much else is going to get a look in. I'll get him chucked back, get rebaited and get out there again. Right, moment of truth. I'm going to attempt to get that left hand rod in again. Hopefully it's not snagged this time. It wasn't snagged, but there's a little bit of something there at first. I could feel a bit of ground or something, but it's pulled straight out this time. So a quick rebait and we'll get that back out. Trying at different distances, see if I can find something. I saw a tap on the other rod, so what I'll do first, before I bring that in, I'll get the baits ready. Makes it a little bit easier then. Yeah. You know it's going to be hard when they're about. One of these little amazing little creatures these are. It's a little rockling. Comes out as like a mini catfish. So pretty little things though. But when they're about it's normally quite hard fishing, so give them a rest in the bucket, have a rebait and get back out there. pleasing that they seem to be avoiding the snag. What is not pleasing is that it's literally coming back untouched. Not been casting it as far, so maybe I've got to bite the bullet and go back out a bit further and risk getting snagged again, but it will then tell me if those fish are out there further. So let's give it a quick rebait and we'll try that. We'll bang it out as far as I can again. See what that brings. Definite tap there. Probably only going to be a little whiting at best. About 10 minutes to go to high tide as well, so yeah, I'll give that a look. Give that a check. There's definitely something rattling on there. Rockling, a little bit bigger that one. So this one's another three-bearded Rockling. As you can see, he's just took that little black, tipped off with a little bit of mackerel, a little bit of fish. So these things are scavenging around on the bottom, clearing up all the rubbish that's left by anything else, I think. Like sort of freshwater eels. They just look like a mini catfish. Three-bearded one. I think they come in about 3 different varieties. Pretty little fish. Okay, so while we're waiting for the next bit of interest on the rods, I think I've got a little tap on the left hand rod, but I'm going to leave that a little bit longer. That's got the big bait on it. Just run through basically what you can expect to catch along here. So this time of year it's always going to be a little bit sparse. Between December and the end of February, nowhere fishes really well, to be honest with you. It's a sort of scratching time of the year. The whiting are now starting to thin out. Where we've had some good sized whiting over the last few weeks, as you've seen from this morning, there's a lot of pin whiting about this morning, really tiny ones as well. So the whiting will gradually drift away now, and the summer species by the end of February, beginning of March, will start to move in. And you're still going to get whiting, obviously. You're going to also probably get the dogfish start showing up March, April time, and then when you move into the warmer months, you can also expect to maybe to catch bass along here, smooth hounds, definitely back into your flatfish. I'm surprised I've not had a dab today at least, but dabs and flounders, yeah, all your sort of normal summer species will turn up along here. It does get quite busy, especially up at the main beaches up there during the summer, again with holiday makers. So maybe your early mornings or late evenings will be the time to come. Or even bad weather days. If you get a really bad weather, rain and wind, you're probably going to get the beach to yourself, bar a few dog walkers. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'm now going to have a look. I've got a rattle on the right hand rod and I've had a little pluck on the left. There's definitely one on the right. I'm going to get those in now and change them over again, rebait them, get them back out. I'll probably go for another hour, and that'll be an hour after high tide, because we're bang on high tide now. And then what I'm thinking of doing is I might wrap up from here, and then I'll take you to the other car parks and show you the access to all the other parts of Pakefield Beach. There's 3 other access points. So while I'm up this way and the fishing's not exactly brilliant, I might do that. That right hand rod's got a nice pull on it now, so I'm going to get that in and have a look and see what that is. They're getting bigger. Look at the size of that one. It's a monster. So you can always rely on these Rocklings to give you a little bit of sport on hard days. And you could see the pull on that rod, the bite it was giving. I thought it was something a bit bigger than that. But there it is, an absolute clonker. Again, took the same thing, a black and a little bit of mackerel tipped on the end. And yeah, it just breaks the monotony. It's a bite and it's a fish. So yeah, what I'll do is get this rebaited, get it back out, and then check the other rod as well. Right hand rod's going again, and the left hand rod. So I've got a bit of interest on the right hand rod again. I think the left hand rod's just had a tap as well. It's got a bigger bait on it, so I'll leave that out longer. I tend to leave that unless the rod's being pulled in, but see the right hand rod's going. So could be another monster Rockling, could be another pin whiting, or it could be a nice big fat plump dab. Let's have a look. Or it can be a not so pin whiting and a not so plump dab. But there we go. Target species today, dab. So that's my third species today. And another whiting as well. So yeah. I don't think there's many casts I've come back today without a fish on, to be fair. So yeah, I'll refresh these baits, get this back out. I'll have a look at the pennel rig. I may then drop down to one rod and just see if I can scratch out some more dabs. Species. We've got a little pouting this time. So the species are racking up now. We've had whiting, Rockling, dabs, and now a little pouting. Apart from the pennel rig, I don't think I've brought the flapper rig back yet without a fish on. So, despite the conditions, not a bad little session. Nothing of any size, but all good fun. Okay, it's now just about approaching 1:30, so just over the 3-hour mark. I've reduced down to one rod, and I've just rebaited it up for the last cast. So I'm sticking with a formula that's worked on there all morning. That's little pieces of frozen blacks whipped on, and then each one's tipped with a different tipper. A bit of mackerel on one, herring on the other, and a little bit of sand eel on the bottom hook. So what I intend to do now is have a little bit of a pack up here, get back to the car, and then I'll carry on up the coast and visit the other 3 car parks, just to show you what the access is like. Okay, that's about it. My last cast has been and gone. I think there's been a little rattle or 2 on there. Wouldn't be surprised if there's something hanging on when I bring it in. That's the little free hook flapper again. Small hooks, small baits. And this time of year, it's probably the best way to go if you want a day's sport. So let's finally get that rod in, and then we'll get packed up. And we'll go and have a look at another couple of access points. Well, there you go. Very last cast to come in is an empty cast. So perhaps it is time to pack up now. See you back at the car. Okay, so back to the car, all packed up and loaded. I'm now going to take a short journey to All Saints Road car park, which is the next one to this one. It's a little bit bigger. I'm just going to give you a look to see what the access is like. Not a bad little session in the end. Quite a few fish, albeit small. A monster Rockling was the biggest one I caught today, which pretty much sums it up, but there you go. Can't grumble. Not a blank. And a few bites. This, like a misty fog, seems to have moved inland as well. Completely opposite to what they said on the forecast. I was thinking I was going to be sitting in the bright sun squinting all day, but that obviously didn't happen. So, don't know if it would have been any better or any worse, to be fair. So yeah, literally back on the main road here now. This is called London Road. We come up to a little staggered junction here. We're going to take a right turn. Turn down here on this island, Premier store on the right. So obviously if you need to get any food or drinks, that will have everything in there. All these car parks are very close together, but you do have to come out and back onto the main road each time, I think, to get there. You can get to this car park by carrying on the cliff footpath. So where we went down the steps at the last place, there's a little footpath there, carries on, and that comes out at the end of here. So the car park's down here, I believe, if I can remember rightly. It is a dead end. And you end up on the cliff looking down. So, here we go, All Saints. what I'll do for the purpose of today, I'll just drive straight up to the end, quickly get out and show you the get down, as they call it. There. This is the car park, and from there you can go round and down this slope and onto the beach. It is a little bit further across the stones than what it was back there, but there is a shorter version. If you come this way and down that slope, you can see you've probably got 200 yards and you're on the beach. So it's not quite as accessible as where we've just been. It's definitely another option. If you've got a trolley or whatever, you can easily get down these slopes. So that's where the slope goes down. You can actually see someone's got a shelter up down there on the beach fishing. So right now, a couple of 100 yards to the beach from this car park. I believe it said that this was a paid car park, but I can't see any machines or anything. I'm going to quickly have a look. We go. Okay, yeah, so I've just checked on the sign there, and it is a car park available for off-road parking without charge. So it's a free car park, that one. And now I'm just going to work my way back down to the next car park, which is Pakefield Street car park. So turning right out of there, you've got a pub on the right here. They do all sorts of food menu by the looks of it. And progressing along to here, this is the other car park. Pakefield Street car park, and this one definitely is a pay car park, and you pay by phone, I believe, there. So there's the beach down there. We've got some more brollies and stuff down there. You can see from this car park, you can see you walk along the top there. Just up the top there where those people are, there's some steps down onto that from, and you can walk along straight across the beach, about 100 yards across the beach. As you can see, people there fishing. It's just another different section from where we've been. Yeah, so this car park is known locally as the Jolly Sailors, and that's a pub just here on the left. No doubt you can get food and drinks in there. So this is, if you hear them mention the Jolly Sailors, this is where the parking is. I'm just going to move around now to the Pakefield Road car park, and that's the one which is known as CFAS. So I doubt there's a bit of Norfolk there not digging up every time I go fishing. But anyway, we always get there in the end. So this is the car park here, and this marked known as CFAS. So there is some off-street parking here by the looks of it, which is probably going to be free. By the looks of it, there's no lines or anything, plenty of cars parked there, but if you do want to park in here, you've got your access slopes down there, look, onto the beach. This is the same as the last one, so it's £4 all day, or anything over 4 hours is £4, so it's quite reasonable really. If you're going to be here for the day, it's done by your phone again, unfortunately. Everywhere seems to be going like that at the moment. Someone down there fishing, not too far to walk. Yeah, so from here in the car park, straight to this end bit, down there, you've got some steps down onto the promenade where all the beach huts are, and then straight through onto the beach. So that's another mark that's reasonably good access and easy. Can't see a lot today, I'm afraid, because of this mist. That big building there on the left is the CFAS building. And so this mark is commonly known as CFAS. So quick look at the steps. A few steps down there, onto a slope, down onto the sand. Not too bad at all. So that is where I'm going to conclude this Pakefield section. And hopefully next time the weather will be a little bit better and we can take you somewhere else in Suffolk. Thank you very much for watching again. We'll see you next time. Yeah, so on my way out at this CFAS, I've just spotted there is a machine there. So if you want to pay by card or coins, it looks like, you can do so. But most of these places now are wanting you to pay by phone. So yeah, just thought I'd add that in.